Injuries. You can't have a workers' compensation claim without an injury, so what are they? It's kind of a little more complicated than you'd think, but maybe since lawyers are involved, we shouldn't be surprised. My name is Britton Morrell. I'm with the law firm Kaplan Morrell. We're a Colorado law firm that's been helping injured and disabled workers and their families get the benefits that they deserve for work injuries since 1997. If this video helped you, please sure to hit like and subscribe or comment below. We'd love to have you be part of our online community. And with that, let's dive into it. Today I'm going to discuss a strange topic with you, which is what do you have to show to have an injury that's on the job? We're going to talk about what an injury is, and then we're also going to talk about there are actually two ways that you can have a workers' compensation injury. So there's this great Saturday Night Live satire commercial I love where the lawyer is going through myths of litigation, and one of the myths is well, don't I actually have to be injured on the job before I have a lawsuit, or injured before I have a lawsuit? And the answer is no. In Colorado, you actually do need to be injured on the job to have a workers' compensation claim. So what is an injury for which you can have compensation? Now, we lawyers call that a compensable injury. And a compensable injury requires either A, medical care, or B, it's causing a disability. So what does those two things mean? Sometimes, and frankly, it's a little weird, when people get injured on the job, they call us before they go to a medical clinic or before they go to a doctor or report the injury. And they'll say, well, I injured my back. We'll say, well, have you seen medical care? Have you gotten medical care? They'll say no. And we'll be like, well, then you don't have an injury yet. You don't have an injury, at least something that we can do. An injury has to require medical care. So if you've been injured on the job, go get medical care. Report the injury. You should be getting a list of where you can go for medical care. Go there, get medical care. The other component is, or it causes disability. And so what does it mean to be disabled in that sense in workers' compensation? And all it means is your ability to do your regular job, that's the job you were doing when you got injured, has been impaired. You're no longer able to do it, or you're no longer able to do 100% of it. But the big thing that, frankly, you're going to need to show, in my opinion, is that you needed medical care. And if you haven't gotten medical care for your incident at work, then it's not going to be considered an injury under workers' compensation. There are two types of injuries in workers' compensation. One is called like an accident, which is an injury that can be traced to a particular time, a place, or a cause. For example, I was lifting a box, I felt a pop in my back, and I felt immediate pain. That's going to be an accident injury. The other kind of injury in workers' compensation is called an occupational disease. And that one's a little more complicated, but it's basically you were exposed at work to something over time, or you did something over time at work, which eventually caused problems. So a big classic example of this would be you're doing heavy lifting your entire life, you're lifting 50, 60, 70 pounds, and over 10, 20 years of doing that job, you're going to have a lot of degenerative joint disease. You're going to have a lot of pain in your back, and that is called an occupational disease. Another example of that is what's called cumulative trauma disorder, which is, for example, you're doing a lot of typing, a lot of repetitious work, heavy vibration work, etc. And over time, you start to develop problems with the nerves in your hands and in your arms, from like carpal tunnel, etc., nerve compression, etc. Those are going to be called occupational diseases. In other words, there wasn't a time where bang, it happened. It's something that gradual over time. But both of them are covered under workers' compensation. Now, a lot of times the question is, well, when did I get injured? What was my date of injury? And for accident injuries, it's pretty clear. I was lifting the box on this day, that day, this day, this time, in this place, that's my date of injury. Occupational diseases are kind of a little more complicated, because is it when I first started doing heavy work or first started doing repetitive work, or is it when I finally quit, etc. And the general rule is we're going to use the date that you first sought medical care for that problem, where you first started complaining of, hey, the pain in my back is not going away, it's getting worse and worse and worse. pain in my arms, the numbness, tingling is starting to bother me, and I've decided now to go get medical care. That's going to be the date of injury. As always, things can get really complicated quick. So if you or someone you know needs help with a work injury, please get in touch with us. We help our clients on a contingent fee basis, which means we don't get paid unless we are successful in getting our clients what they deserve. So please call us, text us, go to our website. Our initial consultations are always free, confidential, and will give you peace of mind when you know your rights. And with that, thank you for spending part of your day with me.